Hello and welcome to today's video. This time we'll be having a look through some of the bits and pieces that were released for Penguin's 50th anniversary back in July 1985. So sit back, relax, and let's get to it. Okay then, so Penguin have never really had any trouble celebrating their anniversaries, and they did some great stuff for the 10th, then the 21st, then the 25th, the 40th even in 1975. But what we're looking at today is the 50th anniversary, which is the first real mega anniversary. And when you think about it, it's only 11 years as we film this in 2024 till Penguin's 100th anniversary, which is incredible when you think about it. But they did publish this book, which was 50 Penguin years, and this is certainly not difficult to find. It was $4.95, and they did do a book for the 21st anniversary, the Penguin story, which included a complete catalogue. This one obviously goes up right the way up to 1985, but does not sadly have a catalogue of all the books that they published. But it's still a really, really nice piece of Penguin history, and you're definitely going to want to track one of these down. Not difficult to find at all, and probably for about cover price in all honesty. And it's not bad, is it? It's not bad at all. Good cross section of all the different series. There's the first 10. There we are. Jeremy Ainsley wrote the 50 Years of Penguin Design. So if you collect vintage penguins, obviously, post 1970, it might not appeal so much, but there's still some great stuff in here. I said very, very easy to get. There are little gems in here. In fact, like that one there, that little a box set there for the D.H. Lawrences, the 10 Lawrences. Very, very nice. I mentioned Pan there as well as a competitor. Now the very early years. There we are. So that's sort of the Souvenir publication that came out. Now, the Penguin Collectors Society have been going since 1972, I believe. So they did a 50 Penguin years sort of summary, and I thought it'd be quite good to have a look through this because it does sort of go over some of the bits that happened in 1985, and also the bits that we can actually have a look at in a moment. So yeah, 50 years on. So anniversary publications. So September brought special promotions in bookshops featuring a very well-fed penguin eating chocolates in his armchair and reading A Farewell to Arms, a commission from Beryl Cook. The design also features on the front cover of the Penguin Anniversary booklet, which booksellers distributed free. Right, so that is that one there. That is the famous Beryl Cook, and we'll have a look through that in a moment. Although I got to say, I don't remember seeing any of that in the bookshops in 1985, but the catalogue itself is reasonably easy to get hold of nowadays. They do say that one of the highlights is a reprint of the first 10 penguins in a box set. Once again, we'll have a little look at those in a minute, which is priced at $14.95. And then a homage to Sir Allan Lane. So on the 5th of September 1985, Lady Lane, that's Allan Lane's wife, I suppose, unveiled a commemorative plaque at 8 Vigo Street in London, close to Piccadilly Circus, the base from which Allan Lane issued the first penguins, which is very, very nice. And there was an exhibition of graphic work by contemporary penguin cover artists with an illustrated catalogue, The Art of the Paperback, which I have not got. Itemising the 125 examples on display, perhaps none was quite so mouth-watering as the display of Allan Lane Christmas books arranged by Hans Schmoller. How cool is that? So a little bit more on the 50 Penguin years. The centrepiece of the Penguin Anniversary celebrations was an exhibition under this title mounted in the main foyer of the Royal Festival Hall on London's South Bank. Now, I've looked for photos of this exhibition and I cannot find anything online. So if anyone's got any photos of that, I would dearly like to see them. It says it ran for 6 weeks from the 21st of September to the 27th of October 1985, and it aimed to show the chronological development of the paperback in terms of editorial trends, graphic design, book production and social significance. The catalogue, under the same title accompanying the exhibition, is a substantial publication, the successor to the much-loved Q21, The Penguin Story. That, I think, is what this is referring to here, which is fair enough. Yeah, so about the Penguin Story, yeah, absolutely. Now, it now mentions about a penguin auction. Now, what was believed to be the first ever appearance of penguin material in a sale by a major international auction took place at Phillips in London on the 24th of October 1985. The sale was planned in 2 sections. Many first editions, signed copies and other memorabilia were donated by their authors in aid of book-related charities. Items included a signed copy of Graham Greene's Mary Borrow Your Husband, autograph material by Lytton Strackley, Augustus John and Bernard Shaw, a drawing of beavers by Gerald Durrell, signed copies by Georges Simenon and Arthur Miller, and the original of Beryl Cook's anniversary penguin painting. Wow, wow, wow. The more commercial part of the sale included a collection of 2,000 penguin first editions amassed by a London businessman. Phillips commented, "Penguins in general have not been a sale room commodity, but we expect to see some interesting price standards set." And they do, so that's it for that. They do actually have some completed sale prices in a minute. So I think we'll have a look at the auction next, in fact. So this, in actual fact, is the catalogue from Phillips, as you can see. It's basically a pamphlet. It's hardly a catalogue per se, but it is. This is what you would have got if you're actually attending that auction on Thursday, the 24th of October at 10 a.m. And there's the penguin there in it, having a cheeky glass of bubbly for 50 penguin years. And this lot here, Penguin First Editions. Looks like a batch of them from the very first 100. A first printing of Ariel, the Penguin #1. 35 volumes of penguins there with dust wrappers. And lot 4, a large collection comprising 1,039 works, including many early numbers, all with original wrappers, 35 to 63. And then it said list of numbers on application. So a few more job lots. A proof copy of Lady Chatterley's Lover, which is quite nice, Penguin 1484. What else have we got here? There was 72 lots by the look of it here. Penguin special. So like, basically it's like job lots at the moment of actual Penguin books in different lots, 446 volumes, 140 crime ones, 415 detective penguin books, a set of King penguins, then a batch of King penguins, sets of Penguin Parade, some Allen Lane Christmas books there for such a ripper years, 481 Pelican books, a run of Puffin books there by the look of it. Then these ones here from 18 upwards are penguins and puffins that are signed by the authors. So you got ones here by Kingsley Amis, Richard Adams. I mean, just loads of them there. Dirk Bogarde, Simon Callow. Fantastic, some good stuff there. So they're all signed ones. Then donations from authors here, because as I said, this was for charity. Stuff from Lynn Reed Banks, a presentation copy of the penguins. I mean, these are like almost unique, aren't they, you know? Beryl Cook. So, yeah, Beryl Cook, original watercolour, celebrating 50 years of Penguin books, signed 25 to 40. See the frontispiece. Lot 41. So that's actually another Beryl Cook. So that was the original that was sold. I don't think it was the catalogue cover. It was that little vignette in effect. Signed Elizabeth David Cookery books, Monica Dickens, J.P. Don Levy, Gerald Durrell. Fantastic stuff here. Cold Comfort Farm, first edition, signed on the title page. That's a classic, isn't it? This was a specially bound copy for Stella Gibbons when her late husband was a partner in the Book Collectors Club. Wow. Graham Greene, May We Borrow Your Husband, limited to 500 copies signed by the author. Patricia Highsmith. I mean, just some great stuff here. Some stuff of George Bernard Shaw, Anthony Paula, A View to a Death, signed copy with inscription. It says, I think this is my first book to be republished by Penguin. Wow, that's really something. I would love that. Some Simenon stuff. You Let Escape in Vain with a 4-line inscription. The first of my books to be published by Penguin and the beginning of a long and not finished collaboration and friendship. Look at that, signed 1945 to 1985. And a signed photograph as well. What a Simenon collectible that is, eh? Anyway, so that was the original catalogue. And then if we go back to the Penguin Collectors magazine here, it does say, it gives us some of the completed prices. So it said, in the event, prices tended to vary. A copy of Ariel sold for 120. The highest price paid was for a rare first edition of Cold Comfort Farm, signed by the author, which went for 720. Well, we just saw that. 1,039 penguins brought 620, and 420 greenbacks for just 190. Although some books brought high prices, these were mainly special editions, signed copies and manuscripts. On the whole, it would seem that collecting penguins is still basically done for pleasure, rather than as a means to endow one's heirs with untold wealth. How things have changed in the last 39 years, don't you think? Well, I think the next thing we should do is have a look through the anniversary catalogue here. You know, when I first read about the auction catalogue, I thought it was the original artwork, this original Beryl Cook artwork that had gone up under the hammer. But I suspect that she probably kept that. A lot of Beryl Cook's artwork towards the end of her life, but while she was still alive, was sent to a London gallery. And the original, like her, you know, she was famous for the big fat ladies getting into taxis, and a lot of it is in and around Plymouth, which is my hometown. Those originals were sent to a London gallery, and in the tail end of the 1980s, they were priced up at just under 30,000 per piece. Even the prints go for several thousand pounds. I actually knew Beryl Cook. I met her a few times. She lived on Plymouth Hoe, and she used to shop at my dad's fruit and veg stall on the market. In fact, you can still walk by her house. I remember exactly where she lived, but there is no blue plaque up. Anyway, this was her commissioned cover for the anniversary catalogue, Penguin's 50th anniversary, with the penguin relaxing in a chair. So it's reading Passage to India in a more modern edition, and a classic edition there of A Farewell to Arms, tucking on a box of chocolates. Really, really nice. Now, although we don't know what happened to the original artwork for that, at the time, 120 prints were made of the front and back covers, and they were numbered and they were signed by Beryl Cook. And I do actually have one of those prints, so I'm going to show you that right now. Okay, so here's my Beryl Cook prints, and these were the front and back cover of their catalogue, and I've recently had these framed up, and I've been waiting for them to come back from the framers before I filmed this video. Now my examples have caught a little bit of sun. It wasn't me, I can assure you of that, but I didn't want to turn them down because who knows when or if I'll ever be able to get another set of these. But they were the front and back of the catalogue. And if we have a little look here, we can zoom right in and we can see it says there, limited edition print of Beryl Cook original paintings, commissioned to celebrate Penguin Books' 50th anniversary in 1985. And if we have a look over here, we can see, and I'm sorry for the reflection because it's very difficult to film these in glass, but there we are. You can see it's number 83 of 120 and signed there by Beryl Cook herself. How fantastic is that? So this is a real beautiful, beautiful part of my Penguin collection. I feel really delighted to own these. Difficult to film, but God, they're going to look fantastic when I eventually get my dream library assembled. These are going on the wall, that's for certain. Now inside the catalogue opens up. Now, I mean, they're sort of implying that this was given away in bookshops, but I said I was going in bookshops regularly in 1985. I don't remember seeing any of these. So whether they, had limited supply or if they were just snapped up, I don't know. But they do go for, £5 to £6 on eBay, so you can pick them up, all right? So there's a little history of Penguin there, just a double spread. And obviously this was designed, for people to go in and use it as a catalogue to order books. There's the 50th anniversary box set, which is the reprint of the first 10, and we'll have a look at that one in a minute. And then I guess they show all the bigger Penguin authors of that period. People like Martin Amis and Richard Adams, Anthony Burgess, of course, Kingsley Amis. These were all, Penguin authors of the day, weren't they? But this was 40 years ago, and obviously a lot of these people are long gone now, sadly. But you get the idea. And you could literally, you would fill in your orders there. That is how you would do it. Woodhouse. And it is a fantastic list. It still is, but truly, in 1985, they were at a good point. There's science fiction there. Not massive. They've never been huge in science fiction. But there we are. So that's the 50th anniversary catalogue. Very, very nice. And now we'll have a look at the 50th anniversary books. So we've got this one here, and then we've got the box set. So if we look at this one, this is a reprint of number 1, Penguin number 1, Ariel. This one's a little bit different. It's the same in size, the facsimile edition, as the ones in the box set, reissued in July 85 to mark the 50th anniversary. However, this is in a dust wrapper, which those books are not, and it also comes with the compliments of the directors of Penguin Books. It's got this belly band around it, and that is the rarity with this book. I've only ever seen the one, and that's the one I've got. I think this is particularly scarce. As I said, it's a facsimile with a wrapper. The more common ones you see are this box set here, which is the first 10 Penguins, and this is an absolutely beautiful box. It says $14.95, and it came with this booklet here, and the booklet once again gives a very short history of Penguin, and then they have these could have been on individual cards, but they're concertinaed. So let's get the books out of the way so we can have a proper look at this. It's the first 10 authors. It's like a little mini biography, the sort of blurb that you'd see on the back of a Penguin, really. Very, very simple, with the author's portrait, followed by like a little history of them. And then underneath is some paper clippings, very early paper clippings that have sort of been reproduced, all about the birth of the Penguins, which is quite nice. It's almost like it's come out of a scrapbook. Very, very nice indeed. All from those early years of Penguin. So that's really nice, that. But the highlight, of course, has to be the reprinting of the first 10 books. Because, these 10 books, although, the Agatha Christie, you could say, is very, very uncommon nowadays. This is a great way to actually read and enjoy them. And you have the experience of reading almost, if it just feels like an original Penguin. I recently read this one this year. I thought I'll read, because it was the 100th anniversary of Ariel, in actual fact. And I read one of these. I read one of the facsimiles, and it was absolutely fantastic. It felt like a period book. You can see the typeface is the same as well. But yeah, they did the full, in order, we did the full 10, so got Farewell to Arms then, Poets Pub, Madame Claire, and Platinus at the Bologna Club, another one I read actually last year for the She Done It book club, and I was a little disappointed with that. Really, really dated. Not the same with The Mysterious Affair at Stells. Yes, it's dated, but what a classic. And one of the very, very expensive Penguin crime books. 25, William, Gone to Earth, and Carnival by Compton Mackenzie. So really, really great. And what a celebration. It was inspired, really. I think they produced an awful lot, because this box set is definitely not that difficult to get hold of nowadays. I actually picked up a sealed one of these because mine is really susceptible to sunning, because what would happen, people would buy it and they would leave these books, they would have it open, and they would leave these books on display. So consequently, any sort of sun at all, it would cause the bottom part of the books to fade. And mine were just like that. That was just how I bought them years ago. So this was actually a sealed box set, so I knew the books would be mint. But even this has got a bit of a sunned top on it. It should be nice and orange like that. But you can see it just, the moment it touches any sunlight, it seems to fade away, which is crazy, isn't it? But anyway, an absolutely lovely box set. Now we've got one more thing to look at. There was a Penguin 50th pin badge, and there was also some sort of Penguin 50th newspaper. Not really sure exactly what that is. I've got photos of them that I'll pop on the screen now, but I've never been able to track those down. I also suspect that there was probably shop display posters, but once again, they've not come to light. So the last thing we'll have a look at is this, which is a Penguin 50 years desk, a little pocket diary from 1985. Sort of faux leather interior here. And once again, this was a promotional one. And it says, with the compliments of Penguin Books and William Clowes Limited, which is one of their printers. And it does give, once again, a very sort of, as if we didn't know already, a very short history of Penguin Books. Lists the first 10 there. Then goes through it decade by decade. Didn't have a lot to say about the 60s, did they? Lady Chatterley does at least get a mention. And then a selection of new titles and events for 1985. And it does sort of say what's coming up. So the F Plus, what a huge seller that was, wasn't it? Andre Eaton, I remember that being everywhere. Yeah, look, that they mentioned the Harrogate Festival, which opens with the Penguin Literary Lunch, and the Edinburgh Book Festival as well. Now, all around May here was when we had the special promotions, all around Penguin and their history. And I think that's pretty much it. Apart from the logo, it's a standard sort of little desk diary. Now, the absolute gem of my 50th anniversary, even more so I think than the Beryl Cook print, which is admittedly rare, is something even more unique. Now, remember, we discussed earlier on and we mentioned about the Penguin exhibition, which was held at the South Bank. Well, the collection of books that I bought recently, I bought a long-time Penguin collector's collection, and he actually assisted Penguin in loaning them some real rarities from his collection for that particular exhibition, and he had the amazing foresight to save all the correspondence, which is all on 50th Penguin anniversary sort of headed notepaper, and that's what we're going to have a look at right now. Right, so here you go. So yeah, Allan Swell, that was the chap who's that big Penguin collection. That was the chap I bought them from. I bought through his grandson, and Allan was a very keen Penguin collector, and around the time of the anniversary, he was contacted by Penguin, and they basically asked if they could borrow a few bits and pieces from his collection. So he saved all the bits and pieces associated with it, and we'll have a look through. These are pretty much in the correct order. So it's got this is 26th of February, so the planning was done a fair bit ahead of time. Dear Mr. Swell, I was most interested to read in a Penguin Collectors Society newsletter that you own some Egyptian penguins. We should very much like to display such editions at the exhibition we are mounting at the Royal Festival Hall in September, and I'm writing in the hope that you would consider lending us some of these books for display. I should be most interested to hear of any other penguin peculiarities you feel should be represented. I look forward to hearing from you. And that was Linda Lloyd-Jones, and she was the 50th anniversary coordinator. You'll have a look here. You can see we've got the 50th logo there, and it's on 50th headed paper. This one's at sort of normal size now, so it should be a bit easier to read. This was 20th of June. Another one from Linda. Thank you very much indeed for your letter of the 6th of June. And yes, please may we borrow Science and World Order, the Penguin Problems book, Meet Yourself as You Really Are, all Egyptian editions. I will, if I may, contact you again a little later if you think we may be able to provide something else. And it looks as if Alan's left a little note there. 4 books sent the 20th of July 1985. Then 9th of July here. Dear, they've missed off his name, as we've been in correspondence over the last year, I thought you'd be interested to see the enclosed outline of events Penguin has lined up to celebrate its 50th anniversary, which we have there. We'll have a look at that in a minute. Penguin Books will undoubtedly receive quite a lot of press coverage in the coming months, but I thought you would particularly like to know in advance about the following expected coverage. BBC Television plans to transmit a programme about Penguin on Saturday the 27th of July. The date has not yet been finally confirmed, so do check the week before, Saturday the 20th of July, just in case it goes out that night under the series title Saturday Review. If anyone's got a copy of that or knows how we can get hold of a copy, I'd dearly like to see that. The Sunday Times Colour Supplement are to publish a feature article by Norman Lebrecht on Sunday the 18th of August. Once again, I've never come across that. And the Observer Colour Supplement will publish an article by Professor Richard Hoggart during September to coincide with the opening of our exhibition 50 Penguin Years at the Royal Festival Hall. All of those I'd be very interested to know if anyone's got copies or knows how to get them. I should like to take this opportunity to thank you for all your help you've given me over the last few months, and sincerely hope you'll be able to visit the exhibition at the Royal Festival Hall at some point during its 5-week run. So that was really, really nice. And then Linda has sent exactly what she said in that letter. It's a 50 Penguin Years. So this is like, what they were planning to do, basically. And I'll just slip this one out of the folder so we can have a proper look at it. So the special publications, it mentions a single facsimile edition of Penguin #1, complete with dust jacket. So that would imply that one we just saw was actually available generally. I don't think it was. I think it was just promo copies. Box set of the first 10, which we have seen. They did do a sort of a celebration of Penguin new writing. It seems completely out of place for Penguin's 50th anniversary, to be honest. But there you go. Unveiling of the plaque to Sir Allan Lane on the 5th of September, the Penguin Cover Artists Exhibition, then 5th to the 19th of September, a major national book trade promotion, 6th to the 20th, National Film Theatre Season, okay, couple of adaptations, and then 21st September to the 27th of October was the Penguin Exhibition, 50 Penguin Years. The exhibition will include a Penguin bookshop stocking every Penguin title, including the billionth Penguin to be sold. The lucky purchaser will be presented with a prize of, yes, Penguin books. Once again, I had no idea about that promotion, so there must be some photographs of this around somewhere, you would hope, wouldn't you? Then it mentions the Penguin auction, which we saw there. We saw the information. The Bristol University, so Penguin's archive of editorial filing will be officially presented to the Library of Bristol University, the home of Allan Lane's personal complete collection of autographed penguins. A reception for local press and media as well as selected booksellers will celebrate the event. And these are just some of the highlights of Penguin UK's celebration of 50 years as one of the most important and influential international publishing houses. In addition, Penguin are happy to supply a celebratory quiz for local newspaper use with books as prizes. And if you'd like any further information, call Sarah Brooks. So this was obviously a press release to go out for Penguin's 50th anniversary, and it's really, really nice, isn't it? How many of those have actually survived? So this was sent obviously to Allan, and thanks to Matt, his son, he knew I was very keen on anniversary things to do with Penguin, and he very generously gifted these to me because he knows they're going to be very well looked after. So Matt, if you're watching, thank you very, very much. So just a couple more bits now related to the 50th anniversary. This is just the official documentation insuring Allan's books, basically. So we had the 4 books that he ended up lending them, their valuation, which he values them at £5 each for those Egyptian editions, and basically receipt of such. And there we go. How fantastic is that? So there you go. I hope you've enjoyed looking through my collection of Penguin 50th anniversary bits and pieces all the way back to 1985. By no means have I got it all. There's a few bits and pieces I'd still like, particularly the bits we've mentioned in the video. So if you know how I can track some of those bits down, do let me know. If you've enjoyed today's video, do please give it that thumbs up. Do please hit the subscribe button if you've not already for regular vintage Penguin content. And I shall very much look forward to seeing you again very soon. Bye.